Well, hello there, and welcome to my web development course for beginners. All right, so this is how this video is structured. So in the first section of the video, I'll take you through why you should learn web development in this day and era, and then I'll tell you why you should take this course in particular, or what's special about this course compared to other free material that you can find out there. And then on the third section, I'll take you through different ways of making money as a web developer. All right. And on the final section, we're going to build our first mini website, right? Just to excite your mood, just to, yeah, this now the final version. So the final section of this video will be a practical section. So we're going to be building our first mini website. So we're going to be building this little puppy here, and I'll take you through every step on how to build this little mini website here. All right. So why should you learn web development in this day and era? Well, because web development is a lucrative skill to have in this day and era. So if you get a job as a web developer, you won't be getting paid peanuts. Or if you decide to be self-employed, you'll make more money working for yourself than working for somebody else. All right. And we've seen how we live in a very unstable economy. You could lose your job anytime. And if you happen to lose your job, if you know how to make websites, you're never gonna go hungry. Because yeah, you'll be able to pay your bills and do much more. And the nice thing about being a web developer is that you don't have to work for somebody else to make money. So you don't have to rely on being employed by somebody else. You can work as a freelancer, but I'll get into details or about that in the next section of the course. All right. So if you don't want to be self-employed, you can, if you don't want to take the route of being self-employed, you can apply for jobs because some of the companies today don't require a university degree to hire you as a web developer. All they need is passion and knowledge. So if you can prove to companies that you know the fundamentals of web development, you know what you're doing, and you can present a portfolio of websites that you have done, they'll hire you without a doubt, without hesitation, because passion and knowledge is very important in this industry, more than just a piece of paper, a university degree, right? Passion and knowledge is what the employers are looking for. Right. So now let me take you through different ways of making money as a web developer. Right, the first way of making money as a web developer is freelancing, right? So as a freelancer, you get to work for companies from all over the globe remotely. So companies post jobs on websites like Upwork.com and other websites like that, and freelancers bid on those projects. And as a freelancer, you get paid per project that you get or complete. All right. So let me quickly open up Upwork so I can show you what I'm talking about. Hope my internet connection won't be too slow. Right, it seems quite fast. All right, so this is Upwork. So as a, say, an employer or whatever, you're looking for a developer, a website developer, you can find talent, click on find talent. Or if you are a web developer and you're looking to make money, you can click on this button, find work. You will sign up and get projects. All right, and the moment you bid and the employer accept your bid, you get paid right instantly the moment you complete the project, or you decide how you want to get paid, right? Can you negotiate with the person that posted the job. You can get paid per section of the project that you complete, or you can get paid when you complete the full project. But I guess the best way is to get paid per section of the project that you complete, right? And the second way of making money as a web developer is selling website templates online, right? Let's go on ThemeForest, and many other sites like that. So the first site that you can sell website templates on is ThemeForest. Let's see, right? My internet connection, let's hope it's not gonna act up. Um, ThemeForest. So if you come here and search for any type of a, because there's different types of websites. So if you need a blogging website, you can come here and search for a blogging HTML template, right? And you'll find a list of HTML templates that are built by people who know how to make websites. Let's actually search for the template that I bought recently. So I recently bought this template for one of my courses. It's called Canyon. All right, so what's happening? Why is it not finding anything? Typing. Am I in the website themes and templates? Yeah, I think we need to go to the HTML category. And yeah, Katen blogging template. So now I'm searching for a template that I just bought recently. Oh, here it is. You can see it's selling at $14, and it has sold over 198 times. So you can sit down and do the math. And the other template that I bought recently was let's see. Now I can't remember. Oh, this one. This is the template that I'm using for my personal website. You can see it's selling for $12, and it has sold over 19 times. All right, and there are other templates that make like lots and lots of money. Just forgot now this template. Let me quickly just pause the video and search for this other template that is making a lot of money. Who built that template? It has made them millionaires actually in a couple of months time. Well, here's another template that's selling very well. This is actually not a template, it's the full website. So if you can build a full functional website, including backend like databases and stuff like that. But we're gonna talk about databases on the full version of the course. So if you can build a full functional website, you can make this amount of money. Just multiply $49 by 1.8 sales. Yeah, do the math. You will see how much these guys made from this template, right? This was probably made by a team of people. You can decide to work as a team or a group, or you can just work on your own, right, and make your own money. All right, so that's one template that's making like a lot of money, and it's selling like almost every day. So that's the second way of making money as a web developer, selling website templates and actually selling websites online on themeforest.com or codecanyon.net. All right, and now the third way of making money as a web developer is selling courses online, like I do. Now, this is the area that I specialize in. I sell courses online, and I have students from all over the world, like UK, India, USA, and many other countries. Yeah, some countries I didn't even know existed until I saw students from until I got students from those countries, right? And one of my courses has been generating me passive income since last year. So that's another profitable area of web development. uh yeah, it's possible to make like eh, lots and lots of money from selling courses, right? And I'm making good money too, and I think I'm at a point now close uh to a point where I won't be relying on my salary to pay my bills. I'll just be paying my bills from my profit from my side hustles of selling courses online, right? But don't go into my instructor profile and try to calculate how much I've made. Looking at the students that I have, you'll be confused because sometimes I give away my courses for free so that I can boost my earnings. Sorry, so that I can boost my reviews, because your earnings on Udemy and Skillshare depend on the reviews, the number of positive reviews that you have, right? And I think it's worth mentioning that this area of hustling, side hustling as a web developer is very, I think it's tough and challenging. It's one of the challenging areas. Like, first of all, you need to have experience to teach online. You need to have experience to teach web development online. I've been doing web development for more than 6 years now, right? So hence I'm qualified to teach online. If you're a beginner and try to sell courses on Udemy, you're gonna fail dismally, because the moment your students give you negative reviews, let's say 2-star, 1-star reviews, then you're out. You're not gonna be making any money. Udemy will not promote your courses. All right, so yeah, that's another area, selling courses online, and it's very profitable as well. But you need experience, and you need to know. I mean, you need to make sure that you know what you're doing. All right. Now, what's special about this course? What's so special? Because there's a lot of free tutorials out there that claim to teach web development, but most of them are not beginner friendly, right? Because I myself really struggled to learn even the basics of making websites. And later in my career, I realized that I didn't struggle because I was dumb or a slow learner. I struggled because I couldn't find resources that were beginner friendly. So at some point in time, I sat down and identified the mistakes that I made as a learner, and I identified the mistakes that the material that I was relying on made, right? I'm talking about the instructors, my university instructors, online instructors, and the the tutorials that I could find, the articles that I could find online. So I identified all those mistakes, and then I came up with this course with the aim of fixing those mistakes so that the next generation of aspiring web developers won't have to struggle like I did, right? But I think I need to mention, though, it's worth mentioning that learning how to make websites for it's never easy. It's never easy for anyone in the beginning. So you are going to struggle, right? But with this course, you're going to struggle better, because I'm going to try my best to explain everything in simple terms and make it as exciting as possible. Right now, in this section of the course, we're gonna start being practical. All right, we're gonna be practical. We're gonna build our first mini website. All right, but before we do, I need to introduce you to HTML and CSS. All right, so websites are built using computer programming languages, aka code. A computer programming language, aka code, is a bunch of text that translates into something beautiful that can be seen by users, something that the users can see and interact with. All right. So if you go to Facebook, for example, and right click on the login button and click inspect, what you see here is a bunch of text, but this bunch of text here, this bunch of text translates into this button. It's being interpreted by computers, right? This is a coding language, right? It's called HTML. So a coding language is a bunch of text, like I said, that can only be understood by computers and website builders, right? So this tag here, or this code, is represents this button. All right, for example, if I change, let's see, I can change that text to, don't worry about what I'm doing for now, just you don't have to understand everything that I'm doing for now. This is just for demoing purposes. So I can change this text to sign in. You can see it changes to sign in, right? I can change it back to login. Changes back to login. So that is HTML, right? So HTML again is a bunch of text that it is the language that is used to build websites, right? And HTML is accompanied by CSS, right? So CSS is another language, right, that you're gonna have to learn along with CSS. So those are the computer programming languages that you need to learn, that you need to know to be able to build websites, right? There's many more languages, but for beginning, for starters, you're gonna need to learn. Every web developer starts here. Every web developer starts from HTML, learning HTML and CSS. Right. Think of HTML as a building material, right? For building a house. Think of it as bricks, cement, and every other material that you need to build a house. In this case, the website. So we've got different building material. So yeah, I've got different building material, and that building material in technical terms is called tags. So if you go to W3 Schools, w3schools.com, and let's just say W3 Schools HTML. W3 Schools. If you go to W3 Schools, you'll see all the list of the list of all the tags, aka building material. I call them building material, right? So this is the building material for building websites. So we've got a tag for building headings. We've got tags for building links. We've got tags for generating images, right? For displaying images. We've got tags for generating. Let's see what else. We've got tags for generating tables, right? But these tags without CSS are nothing, and they look ugly. So CSS is the language that is used to style the HTML tags, right? So if please bear with me if I'm not making sense right now. Please bear with me, and if you kind of feel confused, that's how it is. It always is for almost everybody right in the beginning, but you just have to bear with me and stick around, and you're not gonna understand everything right from the beginning, right? But for now, just make sure that you understand that HTML is the language that is used to build websites, and CSS is the language that is used to style HTML, to style the look and feel of the website. For example, I've got this button here. This button has a color as this color blue. What color is this? Is it green or blue? Yeah, this is green. So this button is green, right? So the color of this button is handled by CSS. So what you see here is CSS, right? What you see here on the side panel, and what you see here is HTML. So HTML and CSS work hand in hand. Right. Now, again, HTML is the language that is used to build websites, and think of it as a building material. And CSS is also a language that is used to build websites. Think of CSS as the language that is used to control the look and feel, or to style the website and position elements within the website. All right. You could also change the position of this button, or you can change the color. And to change the color, you use CSS. Like I said, CSS is used to, I can even change the color to red, the background color of this button, right? All right, so that is CSS. So think of CSS, yeah, just for now, this is the most important thing. HTML is the building material for building websites, and we refer to the building material, the HTML building material, as elements or tags, and we use CSS to style those elements, to style the look and feel of those elements. Right now, let's go ahead and write our own HTML and write our own website. Right now we're just modifying the W3 Schools website. Yeah, now let's write our own HTML and CSS from scratch. Let's write our own first web page from scratch. All right. All right, guys. So to start writing your first web page or your own website, you're gonna need to download a program called VS Code or Visual Studio Code. You wanna download the program and install it on your machine. So this is what it looks like. So I have it installed already and it's running. So this is the code. This is the program that you use to write website. websites. There's many other programs, but this one is light and powerful, and the majority of developers or website developers use it. All right, now the first thing we're gonna need to do here, so I have a folder where we're gonna be writing our own website, our own HTML and CSS. So the folder is located at it's in my C drive, and I named it demo. So I'm going to open the folder, and inside the folder we want to create a file and name it index.html. Now index.html is a home page of every website, right? So every website has to have this index.html, or in sometimes it could be index.php. Yeah, but yeah, index.html or index.php, think of it as the home page of every website. All right, now to start writing our own HTML or our own website, this is our very first own website, right? So we're gonna need to download, not download, but we're gonna need an HTML boilerplate. HTML, just go to Google and type in HTML boilerplate, and you wanna copy that. So you wanna copy this thing here, and I'm going to explain what it means, this thing, just that we don't want to type it out from scratch. So this is now our first web page, our very first website. And yeah, now let's just remove some of the stuff here, as we don't need it, and we don't need that as well. All right, so what you see here tells this, remember we've got different types of files in our computer. So what you see here tells our computer that, okay, this is a web page. All right, and again, this is HTML, the coding language. Now the computer will understand this and translate it and render a web page, right? Because we have this here, this doc type HTML, it kind of tells our system that, okay, this is a web page, so you should render it as such. All right. And the rest here is tags. Like I said, the tags and elements. What you see is elements. All right. This whole thing is referred to as a web page, and then the rest of these things are tags, HTML tags, what I call building material for building a website. All right, so what goes in here in the body tag is everything that the user will see when they visit the website, and what goes in here under the head tag is just for search engine optimization. For example, every website has a title. So if you go to let's see, just go to Facebook, for example, .facebook.com, and you see Facebook has this title, Facebook-login. Every web page has a title. All right, so what you see here is the title of our web page. Well, so we can just change this to our, or let me just say my first website. All right, now if I go to, remember this file is located in my C drive. It doesn't have to be located in my C drive, it can be located anywhere. So now if I go to my C drive and open this file, I should see a web page. Let's just open it with Chrome, because Opera Mini is not my best friend, so I'll just open it with Chrome. Right, so what you see here now is our first website, our first web page, because yeah, it's just blank for now because we don't have any tags or anything inside the body tag. Remember what I said? Whatever goes in here is what the user will see when they visit the website. All right, it's just blank, it just has the title, and again you can change the title to my first website dash home page. Now the title of this page should change accordingly. Right. Now let's go ahead and start dealing with the body tag. Right. What we want to do is want to build this mini website here. We're not going to be building the whole thing, obviously, because I don't want to overload you guys with a lot of information right from the beginning. All right, but we want to sort of build this website, this layout, right? So remember what I said. Remember what I said that. Oh wait, I have too many screens open right now. What I said that everything that is inside the body tags, it is what the user will see. So everything that's inside this, think of it as the actual website, and the rest of the stuff is just for search engine optimization and stuff like that. So if I just put in random text here and go back to our demo page, let me just, I need to close some of these tags because I am so confused right now. um Let me just go back to, where was I? Back to the demo, right? And want to open it with Chrome. Right, now if we go back to our demo website, our very first website, we have this here, this dummy text. This is just for testing purposes, by the way. Right, now we want to build this guy, this little guy here. So remember what I said about HTML being the building material for building websites. Right, now to be able to build any layout or any type of a website, you're gonna need to know which building material, aka tags. You're gonna need to know which building material. Remember, the building material is also referred to as tags or elements. The building material is the term that I use for beginners, and tags or elements is the technical term that's actually used in the industry, right? So right now we need to know which tags to use to accomplish this. All right, first, right, if we look at this, we've got the main menu, we've got the header, we've got the content, we've got the sidebar and the footer, right? So for the main menu, we need to know which tags or which element to use, right? So to be able to build a layout, a website layout, you need to know almost all the HTML tags, right? You're not gonna use not gonna use all of them most of the times, but it's just a good idea to go through W3 Schools. Let me go back to W3 Schools again. Just go to go to W3 Schools and just read through the tags, right? There's tags here so that you know which tag does what. For example, this tag is for table, this is for generating lists. All right, so as you can see here, for the header of any website, we need a header tag. So let's go ahead and build our header tag. So we're gonna remove this. So right now we're building, you know what, let me actually bring in my mouse pointer here, or my mouse highlighter, because I just realized that I'm going to need it. Let me just pause my video while I bring in my mouse highlighter. Right, now I have my mouse highlighter. Right, now what we want to do is to build, first we're looking at the main navigation. So think of a website as just a bunch of sections, right? And just the sections, right? So whenever you say a website, in your mind, divide it into a section, into a bunch of sections, right? So when you look at this website, divide it into one header. Sorry, this is navigation. This is the navigation, and this is a banner or header. This is the main content, what you see here, and this is a sidebar, and what you see here is a footer. So you need to think of a website like that way. All right, now let's start building the main menu. Sorry, the main menu, aka the main navigation. So for the main navigation, we're gonna need a header element. wait, sorry, actually in our website, what comes first, so what we're doing here, what comes first is the navigation, and then the header comes second. All right, so we need to build our navigation first. So back to W3 Schools nav. So the tag for building a navigation is called nav, right? So whenever you use a tag, you want to use it like that. First you open the tag and close it. It should be nav and nav. So we're opening the nav tag here and we're closing it. Here we're opening the nav, sorry, the header tag, and here we're closing it. So that is how HTML tags work. You open it and you close it. You open it and you close it so that you know where each tag or section ends, right? All right, now inside this nav, this navigation, we've got here, we've got what we have here, the list. This is called the list. Now to build the list again, we're gonna need to know what HTML tag to build, right? I won't have to copy it from W3 Schools because I know it off the top of my head. I've been doing it for some time. So for the list, we're going to use an element known as unordered list, right? So open the unordered list element, and the unordered list has a list of let's say links inside them. So this is how you render the list inside the unordered list. So there's other types of lists as well. We've got unordered list and ordered list, but for this, what we're doing here, we're going to use the unordered list tag. All right, so on the first link, we've got, let's see, we've got about, and then we've got 4 more tags. Just copy and paste. So we've got about services, portfolio, and contact us. About services, portfolio, and contact us. Right, now that is our navigation. Now if we go back to our, let me just right now, if we go back to our page, our first website, we should now have this list, right? But obviously it's not in this, doesn't match this appearance here. The list is the list items are appearing side by side next to each other, right? So again, remember what I said, HTML controls the look and feel and the position of HTML elements. So to accomplish this type of thing, to make these list elements appear side by side, we're going to use CSS. So that is where CSS comes in. It controls the look and feel and the positioning of all elements. All right. Right, now let's have a look at how you use CSS to style your HTML elements. Right, so this is how CSS works. It has what you call a selector. So this is the element that you want to style, and you want to give that element a property. Let's say you want this by the way is heading, the heading. Let's say you want to give this heading a color of blue, right? So this is how you'll do that. Right, now let's go ahead and style. By the way, you're gonna have to know all the CSS, not all of them, right? But let's say 60 to 80% of them. You're not gonna be using all of them most of the time, and yeah, just need to make sure that you know these CSS properties here and rules. All right. So we've got what we call a property and a value. A property is like a color. So you want to change a color of an element or the background of an element. Then it always goes with the value. And you can see we've got a property to change the font, and it goes with the value of 12 pixels. So you want to increase the font size of an element. Now let's go ahead and apply this on our list elements. So let's go ahead and apply CSS on our list elements here. These, we want to style these now with CSS. So to use CSS, you want to go to the head tag of your HTML document, and inside the head tag, you want to have another tag, name it style, right? You want to have a style tag, right? Now, remember what I said, CSS. All right, let me just close this. Yeah, because it's confusing. Let's deal with one tag. So remember what I said, CSS targets an element which is called a selector, and you give that element a property and a value. All right, now let's go ahead and target our unordered list. Now I want to style this whole thing, so I want to target our unordered list. And remember, inside our own unordered list, we got these list items. So we're gonna say UI li and open, this is called curly braces. Wait, why is it complaining? So yeah, UI li. Now we are targeting our list items. Now we want to style them, right? The first thing we see here is that our list item has these dots here, which we don't want. All right, to remove that, we're going to use an a property known as display. By the way, this is all from, you can get all these properties from W3 Schools, right? Again, this is just an introduction course again, so I won't be taking you through all the CSS properties and their values, but just remember that to style an element, you always use a property and a value. And in this case, we're trying to style this these list items such that they appear next to each other. So for that, we're going to use the display property with a value of display inline block. Now this will change now our list item to display side by side with each other. Let's see. Cool. Right, you see now they're displaying side by side because we just applied this CSS. Now when we go back to our design, you see that we've got a bit of space here between our elements. We've got a bit of space between our list elements. All right, and again, the property that is used to control space between elements is known as margin, right? So we've got margin left and margin right. So margin left controls let me see if I can see margin here. Margins, right? Margin controls the space around elements. All right, so back to the list elements, want to say margin, and want to say to give these list items a margin left. So now this will control the space on the let's say margin right. Actually, margin right, this will now control the margin on the right of every list item that we have. Want to say just 10 pixel, give it a margin of 10 pixels. So this item, we're saying here, these items should be 10 pixels away from one another. Now if we refresh our page, right, now we've got a bit of space next to our elements. Right, that is the header. Now let's go ahead and build our navigation. So we have this is the navigation. Now let's go ahead and build our header, and inside our header we just have an image, right? I've downloaded that image already. So let's say when you render an image, you always have to read it from somewhere, from a directory, right? So we're going to need this image, right? We're going to need this image to render it on our website. So I've downloaded it. I'm just gonna place it inside the root directory of our website. Let me just pause the video. All right, so I downloaded this image from somewhere. I downloaded it from Google and want to use it on our website. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it from where I downloaded it, and I want to paste it in the root directory of our demo website. So inside our demo website, we're going to need a new folder and name the folder images. And inside the images folder, we want to paste that banner, the banner that we just downloaded and copied. Right, now we want to render this image. So we want to read this image from the images folder and render it on our website as the header element of our website. So again, if you go to W3 Schools, you'll see that images. So you'll see that this is how you render images. So we've got the image tag. This is called an image tag, and it points to the directory on your website from where you want to read the image from. So just copy this and paste it here. In this case, we want to read the image from our images folder / banner. So this is the image that we want to display. Now back to, let's refresh. Cool. Now we have that image, but it's not taking up the full space of our website or the full space of our window. So again, to fix that, we're going to need but I need CSS again. Remember, I said CSS controls the look and feel and the positioning of our elements. So I want to target our image, and let's say image, the width. Now to change the width or how long the image is horizontally, we're gonna need to use the width property. And again, we're targeting the image tag, this tag. Now we're gonna give it a property with a value of 100%. All right. So by the way, to know all this information, you're gonna have to study CSS and go through all the CSS properties, right? But again, this is, like I said, this is just a demo course. The intro to the course. So I won't be taking you through the CSS properties, all the CSS properties, right? I'll take you through what we need for now. All right. So again, this now sets the width of our image, right, of our image tag. Now if we refresh, this image should now take up the whole space. All right. And again, this image is not, of course, best quality, but it is sufficient for demoing purposes. Right, next up, now we have back to our design. So now we have the content and the sidebar. Now let's go ahead and use our HTML to build the content and the sidebar. So if you go back to, sorry, let's just go back here first. So now we have the header and the nav. Now, all right, now content and sidebar, we need the tags to build to build these here. Right, so the content is usually represented by the section tag, right? So now that is the HTML building material for the main content of the website. So for the main content of the website, we're going to use the section tag. Let me just put any dummy text here. And now we've got, after the content, we've got the sidebar, and the sidebar is represented by the aside HTML tag. Aside, right? Like again, guys, let me just reiterate this. All this information, these tags, which I call the building material, are from W3 Schools. You're gonna need to know them to build a website from scratch. I personally know them off the top of my head because I've been doing web development for some time. For the beginners, you're gonna have to read through the HTML tags, all of the HTML tags, right? Which I'm going to do with you on the full version of the course. But for now, I'm just introducing you to running you through the tags that we need for this demo, right? So if you don't feel overwhelmed, we all start here, all start, don't, if you feel confused, it's okay, all start there, but just hang around, stick around. As time goes by, as it's all about practice. The more you practice this, the more it gets hammered into your head. The more you start to grasp the concepts, the more you understand it, the more these things will stay in your head, right? So again, you need to know which tag to use to build what. In this case, we're building a sidebar, so for that we're going to use the aside tag. Right, let's see. Let me just say aside. This is just for testing purposes. For here, main content. Right, now we have these now. Let me just go ahead and give them a background color so we know what we're doing. So now let's target the section tag and give it a background color, section. Now, if you want to change a background color of an item, this is how you do it, background color. Let's just use this Akua, and now let's target the aside. Let's give it a background color too, and let's just change it to blue violet, right, and refresh. Right, now we have these elements, but again, they are not in the order that we want them. So like I said, CSS is used to position and control the looks and feel of HTML elements, or the looks and feel of a website. So again, to accomplish this, to get these elements to line up side by side, to get these two elements to line up side by side, we're going to use CSS again. So now every HTML element, not every, but almost every HTML element is set up to take up the entire space of its container, right? Like we see here, this main content is taking up the entire space of this entire container. The aside is also taking up the entire space of the entire window. To change that, we're going to need to use CSS again. We're going to target the elements and the property that is used to change the width of a website, so the width of an element, or how long as an element is called so we want to use display property for that, and want to change the element. So changing now this section, want to change it to inline block again. Now this should stop now the section element from taking up the whole space of its container. Let's refresh and see. Yeah, see, now it's no longer taking up the entire space of its container. Now we need to apply the same rule to this aside element. Refresh. Cool. Now our elements are lining up side by side because again of CSS. What you want to do now, as you can see on the design, the main content is taking up almost, like, let's say 80% of the screen. So we want to make it take up 80% of the screen as well on our website as well, right? So again, to do that, anything that has to do with the look and feel, we use CSS. To do that, we're going to use again the width property. So let's give it a width of 80 of no, let's just say 75%, 75 or 74%, because we want it to take the 74% of our screen. Now let's refresh. See, now it's taking almost 74% of our screen, and the aside wanted to take about, let's say, 15% of our screen, with 15%, right? No, let's say it was 25. let's just say it should take up 25 here. This is 15 is too small. Right, cool. Now remember, these colors are just for testing purposes. This purple and green, this is for testing purposes. You never see you're never gonna see a website that looks like this. This is just for demoing purposes. What we're gonna have at the end is this, something like this. All right. And if you look at the design, we've got the height. The distance from top to bottom is called the height. The distance from top to bottom is called the height, and the distance from left to right is called the width, right? So we've already dealt with the width, how long horizontally these items should be. We've dealt with that. Now we want to deal with how long these two items vertically should be. Again, we're going to use a CSS property. The CSS property for that is called height. And let's just say we want the height of the section element or tag to be, let's just say 550 pixels, and want them to be equal in height, the aside and the section. So we're gonna give them the equal height. Now but 500 is too much. Yes, all right, let's just say, let's reduce the height because this is too much. Let's say 400 and 400. Right, now we have the main content and the aside. What we're missing is the footer. We can just ignore the content for now. We're just dealing with the structure. We can just ignore this text and everything. We're just dealing with the structure for now, right? What we have is the content in the sidebar and header and main menu. Now we need the footer. Now the element that is used to build a footer is the footer tag from W3 Schools. We can just have a look again. W3 Schools, the footer. You see, this is the footer of a website. So we use the footer tag for the footer. All right, open the footer tag and close it, and let's just put in dummy text here. I am the footer. Again, this is just for testing purposes. A real footer in a real world website will contain the copyright text, who built the website, and other stuff like that. Oh, right now if we refresh, we should have the footer, but it should be, let's see here. So here's the footer now, and again, to style the footer, let's give the footer a height of, let's say, 40 pixels. So again, to style it, we're gonna go footer, open curly braces, and define our CSS property and define the height, the value of the height, 40 pixels. Let's give it a background color of let's just say, let's just use brown is too bad. Let's just use green and refresh. Right, now that is our footer. Now this is the structure of our website. Now we can go ahead and start building the content and styling the content, the about us, contact us. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I don't want to overwhelm you guys or overload you guys with too much information, right, and scare you away. I think we can just leave it here for now. And again, like I said, these colors here are just for demoing purposes. You're never gonna see a site that looks like this. Let me just remove the background colors. Actually, that was just for testing purposes. So I'm going to comment the colors out. And now if we refresh, the color should be gone, but the structure should remain the same. All right, so again, think of a website and the website structure, like just divide it in your own head and divide it into sections, different sections, and tags and elements, right? Let me just put back the colors. Remember, I always use the these colors when building a structure of a website so that it makes sense to my eyes, right, and my brain. And again, if we go to let's go to instagram.com. You should see that Instagram also has its own structure, right? But that structure is not visible to a normal person. It's only visible to developers. So let's just go back to Facebook. So for example, here I've got this sidebar elements and I've got this image, right? So this is the structure that the Instagram login page follows, and this is their footer. All right, so you can divide this into two in your own head. Divide this website into two, right? Two sections. We've got this section, the one that has images, and this section that has the login form. And again, go back to Facebook. So Facebook also has their own structure for the login page. You can divide it into two at the back of your head. So I've got this side and this side, the side that contains the logo and the text. So always divide your website, divide every website you see, try to divide it into different sections. All right. Like I said, let's just leave it here for now. I don't want to overload you with too much information and scare you away. But again, in summary, you're gonna have to know the HTML tags and which tags to build what, or what tags builds what, right? Like I said here, we're building a navigation, so the nav tag is used to build a navigation, and the header tag, which is this, is used to build the header tag, which is what we have here, and the image tag is used to build an image, and the section tag is used to build the main content or the main section of your site, and the aside tag is used to build a sidebar for your website, and the footer tag is used to build the footer for your website. But all these elements are ugly and useless without CSS. I can actually remove the CSS now, and you'll see the entire site will look broken. Right, it's broken. It's not what we want. So the HTML tags without CSS are nothing, right? Like I said, HTML works with CSS. Right now, we use CSS to style and position the elements. And to be able to style and position the elements, we're going to have to know CSS and know the rules and the values for each properties. For example, the background color has the value of whatever color. The display has inline block or there's other values for the display property, but we're gonna discuss those values in the full course. Like again, this is the intro. The height as well, this is a height property which controls how long an element should be vertically. The height again controls how long an element should be vertically. The width controls how long an element should be horizontally. So that is CSS and HTML. I hope I am making sense. Like, it's kind of hard to explain this stuff to beginners. I'm so used to teaching web development to junior developers, junior website developers already know the basics. Now it's kind of hard to explain the basics. I hope I'm making sense. And by the way, I'm teaching in a way that's different from all the tutorials that you'll find out there. So if you watched until this point, I really appreciate it. And that really means a lot to me. That means at least I was able to make some sense to you. And if you watched until this point, please give me a comment on the comment section and like the video and share it. And please just let me know if I'm making some sense, at least, because I know I'm not gonna make 100% right from the beginning, especially to beginners. My junior level students, the guys already have the basics. They understand me, and we get along very well, especially on Udemy. They're giving me five-star reviews, and yeah, I'm making sense to my junior students right now. I'm not sure how much sense I'm making to my beginner students. So just let me know what you think. I feel like I need to summarize this over and over again, like but yeah, there's a lot to learn. Like I said, you're gonna need to know the CSS properties and the rules that you use to style the tags, and you're gonna need to know the tags, which tags to use to generate what. Like I said, the image tag is used to render an image. The list tag, you unordered list, is used to render lists. All right, so you're gonna need to know all these tags to be able to build a website, and you're gonna need to know the CSS rules to be able to style the website, to style your HTML tags. Right, guys, let me just leave it here for now. I'll see you on the full version of the course. If you kind of like the intro version, I'll see you on the full version of the course. And don't give up. I know it can be hard. It's gonna be hard in the beginning, but we all start there. You don't understand everything from the beginning, and there's still a lot to learn. We all start there, but if you hang around, stick around, keep reading, keep watching, uh you're gonna, like, when you sign up for the course, decide to sign up for the course, at the end of the day, like, it's really worth it, guys. The amount of money that you can make in this industry can never compare, I think, to any, to, I think, most of the industries. Let's talking about, no, I don't want to sound like I'm discrediting other industry, but the amount of money that you can make from web development, it's worth the amount of time that you're gonna need to spend reading, watching my entire course and asking me questions and trying to cooperate with me. It's really worth it, guys. And please sign up for the full course on my website. Click on the link below, sign up, give me your email and your name and your phone number. Then I'll notify you when the full course is out. I'll let you know when I'm done recording the full course. Please, guys, if you really love it, or I'm making some sense to some extent, I know I'm not gonna make 100% sense right from the beginning, but if you manage to watch until this point, please give me a thumbs up on the video. Give me a comment, like the video, and share. And please let me know what you think. And this approach I'm taking here, like in terms of teaching this whole thing, web development, is different. You'll never find it anywhere else online. Like, I think, in my own opinion and my own understanding, I think it is the best way of teaching, because, like, I want to focus on, like, building real world stuff, so you can see what you're doing. You can see what we're doing, so you can see I'm trying by all means to be real world based. I want to build real world based products, real world based applications, right? So yeah, guys, just stick around. If you love, at least I managed to make some sense to some extent, please sign up for the full course. The link is on the description video. Sign up, visit my website and sign up, and fill out the contact form, give your email, your phone number, and yeah, I'll notify you when the full course is out, and you'll get notified, and you'll become a great developer, and you're gonna be, yeah, you'll be able to make money online selling website templates, or you'll be able to get a full-time job as a web developer. You can even get to a point where you'll be able to sell your courses online as well. So that is it, guys. I think we should leave it here for now. I'll see you on the full version of the course. Please do sign up. Please do sign up on the contact form on my website. I almost forgot to mention that these are the type of projects that we're going to be building in the full course, guys. So if you sign up for the full course, you're going to be able to build projects like this from scratch. So this is a real world website. As you can see, this is just like one of the websites that I came across online, and I just decided to rebuild it, right? Just to, yeah, for the purpose of this course, and to also level up my web development skills as well. All right, so you see you've got this is a cool website, actually. So you're going to be able to build this user interface, this website from scratch. As you can see, it's a replica of a real world website. It's one of the websites that I came across online, so I just decided to rebuild it using my own skills, using my CSS and HTML skills. So the way I teach online, my teaching is based on real world projects. Yeah, I teach, like, because I used to hate instructors that give us like things that are not realistic, because in university most of the times they will give you basic stuff and you're never going to be able to build real world projects like the project that we're looking at right now. All right, so this is one of the projects that we're going to be building, and we're going to be building a replica of the Facebook user interface as well. So we're going to be building the login page, Facebook login page, and some of the user profile pages on Facebook, and we're going to be rebuilding the Instagram homepage as well. So like my goal is to just like teach you using real world applications, real world websites. So that is my goal, because that's how I learned. I felt like I was learning better when I'm building real world projects instead of just dummy projects and yeah, there's boring projects. So we're gonna be building real world projects, guys, in this full course. Uh, so this what else am I planning to be like? We can even build the TikTok, the Twitter user interface. You'll be able to build things like this if you take the full course. What I've just shown you guys was just it's just like an introduction. I didn't want to overwhelm you with a lot of information right from the beginning. So we are not going to be building boring projects. Boring. We're not going to be building boring projects. That I promise you. We're going to be my teaching is project based, real world project based. So these are the kind of stuff that we're gonna be building. You're gonna be able to build the Twitter user interface from scratch. You're gonna be able to build this kind of a website from scratch, and you're gonna be able to build the Facebook login page from scratch. So you're gonna be building real world project, guys, in the full course. Yeah, hope you sign up, and I hope to see you in the full course. Bye.